So we are going to dissect the 5 things. Of course, it is only late October of what the Eagles will be looking to improve on in 2025. And, of course, they have to do it without Tom Barras, who was unveiled at Hawthorn yesterday. Don't forget also, SEN Stadium has arrived in WA. So if you're at Optus and RAC Arena for the Big Bash or Perth Wildcats games, listen to SEN Call with zero delay for the ultimate game day experience. Just go onto the SEN app. Scotty, we did it with Freo yesterday. We've got a huge reaction. Let's do the same. And I know there's going to be people flying over the top here to pile in on West Coast, but let's try and be productive and positive.
First thing that they need to do right from this point right now is get their S&C right over some of their strength and conditioning. They need every player, as many as possible, fit, firing, fighting for positions from round one. And I mean, absolutely tailored programs, which I know most do. Load monitoring like there's no tomorrow, preventative scanning, spend some money and make sure that everyone's right. There's not going to be a hamstring go, or you can detect it early to see if there is any abnormalities in anyone after a week of training or 2 weeks of training. Do everything they possibly can to have every single player available.
On the flip side of that, yes, that's one of mine. Oscar Allen needs to stay fit and lead that team. He and Waterman can certainly be one of the best 1-2 forward combinations in the competition. And I genuinely believe that if they can get the same output from Waterman and a better output to get on the field for Oscar Allen, West Coast will go a long way to hitting the scoreboard a lot more and being a force up forward.
I've got him in number 4, so that could be my next point then. The next is absolutely a fit and firing Oscar Allen. A 2023 season from him, I think he had 53 goals that year. If you can get 50 from him and 50 from Waterman, then all of a sudden you've got the footy in your hands and the opposition's not scoring on you. I'll take that as my second point then.
All righty, one of my second point is 15 players in 2024 average less than 10 touches a game. Now, some only played one game, but some played as many as 10 and 11. Of those, I've singled out a handful. Brockman, Johnston, Marrick and Dewar must be better if they're given a chance. They must produce bigger numbers and have more impact. They can't be add-ons to the team, in my opinion. I know they're trying. This is not about lack of trying, but they've got to get better production out of them. And Luke Edwards, Chesser, Petrocelli and Long all average 11 touches or less. That is not good enough. That group
yeah, that's a big one,
has to be better. They've got to improve. And Brockman, Marrick, Edwards, if he's still there, and Chesser just have to produce bigger numbers and have a bigger impact.
Yeah, no more time. Now is the time to step up. You're on this list and you're ready to go. Well, Duff mentioned it yesterday. It was always going to be one of my major points. It's been a bugbear for a number of years now, is two-way running. Their intent to run defensively has been so poor for a number of years now that when things aren't going their way, there is no grit, there's no determination to fight and get back and to help out. So they get scored on so easy. So the defensive side of their game and the two-way running, it might be just a mentality thing, but it goes back to the strength and conditioning, getting that right so you're fit enough to do it. Defending and two-way running, I think, is a massive one for West Coast this year.
Exactly right. 2025, we're looking at things that have to improve for the West Coast to be better. Now, pre-season, the star of the pre-season for West Coast last year was Matt Flynn. He did himself one of the worst injuries you could ever.
Yeah.
He was shot. I know people connected to his recovery. He was shot. He never reached the heights on his return. He was never fit fully on his return. He battled through and then just couldn't find the form. Matt Flynn leading the ruck is paramount to West Coast being better. Matt Flynn.
It's a good call. Skills for mine, skills all summer, control of the footy, reducing turnovers. They were 18th in possessions last year, and that wasn't just a game plan or game style. That was lack of ability to get their hands on the footy. They were 515 possessions less than Richmond, who were in 17th. 515 times over the year they touched the footy less than Richmond, who were in 17th in the competition. They need to not butcher the footy. They need to absolutely work on skills all summer. And whether it is a shorter game plan, whether they change the game plan so they're not, so it is a shorter kick, which is easier to hit, then do it. but they cannot give the footy back to the opposition as easily as they did, especially if they don't do two-way running.
For me, one of them is they need to get a left footer into their midfield. They
had one, Ruben Jimmy. They pushed him down back.
They're very, and I'm still not sold, but they got to get a heart, but he doesn't use the ball well. They need someone who is who has got a penetrative kick with the left and is strong through contest. Jimby can be. Still got to find his right spot inside that team. I do think he's a midfielder at the end of the day, but maybe not quite. So if they go to the draft...
Yeah, so that's a drafting thing.
And they get Bo Allen... If they get Bo Allen, depends if he's still around. He might not be around. There's big raps, on him.
If he's the best available.
Well, they just need a left footer. Most teams have an absolute gifted left footer, and I think it helps to provide variation.
Oh, yeah.
To your midfield look, because West Coast are very one-sided through their midfield. Yep. So a left footer with some spark.
My last one is, and they need to find the right way to do this. I believe Woosha can. And I believe Minnie McWalter can. They need to reset players' mindsets, starting with senior players. Standards on and off the field, the commitments, attitudes. They need to make this team hungry again. And it was similar to yesterday with what I said about Fremantle, is that reputations don't matter, that they make tough decisions at the selection table. I think they need to reset these players' mindset that they're not running the show. They're employees of this football club. I mean, you've got to do it the right way, of course, because they'll cry and sook these days if you do it a hard way. But they need to get back to the fact that they're nowhere at the moment. They are rebuilding this football club. I know they brought some players in, but you will be where you're told to be. You will do what you're told to do, and you'll do it at the very best of your ability. No more tail wagging the dog at West Coast.
Good point you make there. And my last point is Eagles fans, Eagles detractors, those who have jumped off, those who are unhappy with their trade, they just have to embrace this man.
Hey West Coast fans, it's Bakes here. Just want to say I'm super stoked to join the club. Can't wait to get over to Perth, meet a few of the boys, get stuck into training and get ready for a big year for us. Can't wait to meet all the fans across the year and see their support. Super stoked to join the club, and I'll see you all soon.
Looking forward to Liam Baker, Jack Graham, Matt Owies. Yes, it's not the age bracket that a lot of clubs will build on, but I think there's enough kids down the bottom with the support of those senior-aged players or middle-aged players, they can be better. Eagles fans, love for Liam Baker, love for Jack Graham, love for Matt Owies, because they will give their all for you guys.
They turn up. They turn up, West Coast fans. There's no doubt about that. They still get bigger crowds, even though what they're doing, what they're putting out on the park at the moment. So the fans they're pretty staunch, really, at the end of the day.
So from 076, Xavier Lindsay is the best kick I've seen in this year's draft. He's a left footer, would be great off half back or a wing. Such a precise kick. There it is there. And, of course,
keep an eye on Xavier.
We'll keep an eye on him.